And I am the angry cook. I think I am anyway. Got a couple of questions about the sauerkraut I made 6 weeks ago that I just bagged yesterday. I had 14 and some pounds of cabbage that I processed. It was 15 plus, and then by the time I took the leaves off and the cores out, I had 14 something. But 18 bags altogether. Took 6 weeks because of the temperature and all the external factors. This is really easy to make. There's 2 ingredients: cabbage, salt. That's it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to process the cabbage heads. These are huge, by the way. 7.3 pounds and 8.5 pounds. For 15.8 pounds of cabbage. We'll see what that processes down to. I got my scale here. We're going to weigh that after we process it. We're going to take the leaves off. We're going to, cut it in probably 1/8 or 1/16. We're going to use our mandolin, set it 1/8 of an inch. You don't have to use a mandolin. It's a handy thing to have. You don't have to use it. The box grater. And I just happened to think of this. Box graters have 1 or 2 of these. You could use that. Just use your knife and cut them. We're going to do probably all 3 of them real quick just to show you what it's like. We're going to concentrate on that guy. Rule of thumb. Process the cabbage. Put it in a jar, whatever jar you're using. This I bought at AC Moore or Michael's, I forget which. It was like 10 bucks or something. It was ridiculously priced. It's got a lid to it. For every 5 pounds of cabbage, 3 tablespoons of salt. Spread it out. So about 3.5 tablespoons for each one of these. A little more for this guy. So we're going to do probably a total of 7 or 8 tablespoons of salt. Don't put too much in. Don't go crazy with it because, trust me, I've already done it. And it's so salty you almost can't eat it. And it doesn't rinse out. So, let's get started with processing. I'm going to move that out of the way. Wood stuff, courtesy of Neubauer Artistry. Put a link below, if I remember. If not, neubauerartistry.com. Save some of the better looking outer leaves that you peel off. You'll put it on top of the processed cabbage, and then we'll put a bag about half full with water and about 3 or 4 tablespoons of salt. We'll put it on top of the cabbage to place it to make a seal with it. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on preliminaries here. I'm just going to show you a little bit, and then a little bit of the cutting, and then the final product. We want to go. That guy's got some bug shit on it. We'll take this guy off too. Sometimes it wants to come off easily, sometimes it doesn't. And as I said, we're just going to put this aside to lay on top of the cabbage that we process. So, I think we'll cut that out. Cut out some of these really heavy veins too that we have here. Let's get on with this guy. Rinse that bad boy off, and that's pretty good the way it is. fairly clean except for that part. We're not going to worry about that because we're going to cut it out. So let's process the smaller one first. This is going to be the easier one, I think. Smaller heads of cabbage you can take and bang it on the table, and that'll loosen the core out and you can pull it right out. These guys are way too big for that. So we're going to have it. Don't be exact, it doesn't matter at all. All you want to do is be able to get to the core. There's the core. Can you see it? The hard stuff. Big veins and the hard stuff you want to get out. And we're going to core it. If you got a bigger knife than that, use it. And we're going to cut it into 1/8 to make it easier to put through the mandolin. Okay, there we go. So we're going to take out the core. Now we're just going to just show you some of the stuff. You can cut it like that. You can take, I've never done this one, so let's see what happens here, huh? By far the hardest of all of them. You can do it, and it makes fine pieces, but that's just much harder than using the knife. Use your knife or your mandolin. And last but not least, let's show the mandolin, which is what I'm going to use to process the rest of these. I'm just throwing away big solid pieces. Use the hand guard. I lost my hand guard. There it is. Use the hand guard. These are razor sharp. They'll take your hand off. They'll take your fingers off. They'll cut you at least. Maybe take some skin off or worse. So use it at your friend. That was an unmitigated unsuccess, wasn't it? Oh, you suck ass. Voila! Very much easier to use it. Use the mandolin. So now we're going to let you go for a little bit. We're going to take our processed stuff, our processed 8, and we're going to throw it in the jar. My thumper. Every once in a while you're going to use something metal, or something wood to compress this because you want the juices to start flowing. Between the salt and the compression, what you want is to fill this up with juices eventually. The juice out of the cabbage, which is the water, and that's what's going to ferment. Brody's down there eating cabbage. I can't believe it, he's eating cabbage. So just basically a good pounding. Okay? We'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, we've got close to a third in here of that head in. So we're going to scrunch it down. Bring it back here. Don't be afraid to beat the crap out of it. That's what you want. That's how it releases moisture. How it releases the water. So we're going to put a tablespoon of salt in it right now. Heaping tablespoon because it's more than 5 pounds actually. Make sure that's spread out and onward to the next piece. Alright, that's the smaller head. Spread it around, crush it around. Good way to take out your aggressions. And another heaping tablespoon of salt. And on we go. We are 2/8 away from being done. This is a lot of sauerkraut. This is pretty much going to double what I just made here. Yes, what I just bagged yesterday, actually. So if you're looking for sauerkraut, come to me. This will compress even more by itself. Not a lot, but some. As you see the water develop. Okay, we're done chopping and pounding, or not, well, you're never done pounding, but I said it was easy. I didn't say it wasn't messy, because it is messy. Care and feeding of said sauerkraut. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take some half-decent leaves and we're going to layer them over the top. This I just learned recently. This is the old way of making sauerkraut, and I did it last time and it works. So it just kind of creates a little seal around the kraut. Just a single layer is good. What you're trying to do, this is an anaerobic, if I remember right, situation where you don't want air on your sauerkraut. You want water, the water that comes from the cells, and that's it. And that's all we put in. We haven't added anything but salt to this. So we're going to take this bag, about 2/3 of the way full, and we're going to put 4 to 6 tablespoons of salt in it, so that if it leaks, the only thing that's going to touch your sauerkraut is more brine. Okay, get the air out of it. secret to that I learned. In case you don't have a vacuum machine, which I don't. Remember, this is a small-time operation. This ain't Alton Brown or any of the other Food Network morons. Suck the air out. You get most of it, you don't get all of it. Then you got a big hole in it right there. Yeah. Let's try this again. Make sure you're sealed all around the straw. Get a big mouthful of salted water, which is excellent. Swish it around a little bit. Check your seal again. Make sure your bag isn't leaking. Place it on top with the seal up. Try to get it in all the little nooks and crannies so you can make an airtight seal. A little bit of air in there, but we're not worrying about that. Then we're going to put the lid on and we're done. What we're going to do next is weigh it. Forgot to add the brine from the last batch, so we'll just peel back the layers here. Really doesn't have to go all over the place, just in is good. A little bit of kraut in there, just a little tiny bit. Spread that around too, because that's got good, I guess it's lactobacillus, I just don't know. I ain't a chemist, I'm a cook. And again, all the crooks and nannies. Back with the lid. Should have measured that as I put it in, but I didn't. There's 6.14 pounds into that, and I'll bet you there's all of 13 or 14 pounds of kraut in there. So we're going to label it with the day. 11, 17, 20. Burn! 11, 7.